In this drive, let's check how the FSD 12.5.4.1 handles inclement weather. It's a rainy day and we will be driving a very short distance around town. We will see how it handles the safety side, how it handles the traffic situation with the limited visibility from the cameras, especially the way it checks for the traffic markings, the lights and other objects of concern. It's a vision-only system, so this should be a good test to check its performance in the given conditions. We'll also check its ability with hands-free driving for the most part in this drive. So let's get started with it. We start manually in this slightly tight parking place. I'll be staying extremely alert at all times, ready to take control in a split second, in conditions that are obviously not ideal. I've already experienced issues with the cameras, and in this drive, whatever challenges we encounter, I expect to be mainly on account of the cameras. Slowly creeping towards the exit of the parking and gradually getting onto the streets. This will bring us to the first intersection around which I will activate the FSD, either ahead or after. This is a small yet fairly busy intersection, and that's why I'm highly alert handing the control over to the system. I'll barely slip into my turning lane towards the left, ready for the green light. The lane markings here are extremely well defined, and that should help. That may not be so in the rest of the drive. That's FSD activated, and we are now fully hands-free. It's probably drawing cues from the car it's following with a safe distance to execute a very smooth turn. Almost immediately I have received alert messages saying that auto lane change is unavailable and asking to pay attention. The message full self-driving may be degraded, poor weather detected is constantly on. Passing lights at intersections will be a thing to watch for in the rains. The next one is almost immediately here and we pass it smoothly. Passing lights, making split-second decisions on yellow lights and acting decisively is very important in a vision-only autonomous system. I generally keep a very high Tesla safety score, either full or in the high 90s for the most part, and that teaches you to stay vigilant all the time. The FSD is not yet there in terms of decisiveness and handling tight spaces, and hence when driving it creates more anxious moments for me than it would normally for others. Expect it to fumble taking lanes, making some important decisions, and that fuels some serious skepticism on the space at large. But as usual, the constant improvements bring that much optimism to balance things out in the end. That's always how technology goes. This is a big intersection and we have red lights. This will require the system to turn right on red, a very important California feature. So let's see how it manages this one. It stopped on red and that's the first right thing to do. This is the very basics of driving. It's scanning the intersection and gradually creeping forward. That's the turn and it's made a bit too tightly and a bit too fast. That's just me nitpicking and being too much of a purist. It's immediately moved to the middle lane. The message that the FSD is degraded is constantly on. I'll give some to the system here for the turn on red and the cameras they are due for their ability to scan. The right turn on red has the very last right of way by regulation. Oh, that was a jolt on the yellow lights, and what? It's changed its mind and decided to go anyway. That's really bad, most immediately for the car following, and nothing that adds to the driver's confidence in the system. This is a one-off and could be owing to the weather. Another thing I would like to bring to your notice is this new software feature. Notice how on intersections the visualization displays the entire intersection and the objects therein. These are small things that gradually build confidence in the minds of the users. The sheer breadth of visibility may seem insignificant here, but imagine its use over a period of time and how it could gradually make the users more comfortable and confident in the autonomous abilities of the vehicle. That is how software builds user trust and dependencies over a period of time that are difficult to dislodge for the competitors. It's early days of course, and I'm happy that I'm able to use and review this technology that is getting so exciting every passing day. I'm not happy with the distance it's keeping with the car in front, but that could again be my conservative self. The lane visibility seems excellent right from the time we started this drive. That's in spite of all the wet fall leaves that you can't see here but are all over the roads. The rains have led to some degree of decision uncertainty in the system. This is subtly felt and I have also seen it on more than one occasion. Uncertainty that was totally absent in all the rain-free drives I've had. As you see, I am completely hands-off as the 12.5 promises, but that does not mean that I am not highly alert or I am not absolutely ready to take charge. We are heading towards a small yet significant point shortly, and it will be good to check how the FSD does there. There are two traffic lights back to back at a short distance of one another. Between them is an area to be kept clear. This is an emergency point for the town's fire station. When driving regularly after slowing down before the first light, I tend to check the space available on the latter. This is a stop in time to maintain the distance mandated towards that keep clear space. The keep clear space is common elsewhere as well. The FSD may either fail on this or probably do better than a human driver by scanning the space ahead. We are now approaching those back-to-back lights. The system will need to check the traffic, the status of the first light first, take a decision, and then check the status of the second light, all while maintaining the traffic awareness and acting accordingly. It's got the green light on the first and the red on the latter, so this turned out to be simple. I already know that the FSD does not comply with the 100 feet rule for the intersection strictly. By that rule, cars are not allowed to change lanes within 100 feet of intersections. I have seen the FSD violate it on several occasions. It's difficult to fathom as that rule is also violated frequently by regular drivers. It's an important rule and a ticketable offense if I'm right. With the rain or whatever else, the FSD has maintained the speed limit far more stringently than otherwise. That's fairly smooth sailing, and this street may seem familiar to those who have seen my video on the side-by-side comparison of the FSD and regular driving. The wide scanning of the FSD 12.5 will be precisely useful in the intersection that we are now approaching. It's the biggest in town and a fairly notorious one. I'm fully alert though hands off. I'm constantly monitoring the cars around and my blind spots as I normally would, or probably more. Rest assured, driver attention is the most priceless function in autonomous driving as of today. Underline that. Sailing past these lights as we move forward, we just have two more lights prior to our destination. At some point therein, it will shift to the lane rightwards. Just want to see if it does it 100 feet ahead of the lights. It stayed leftwards in the middle lane, and at some point 100 feet ahead of this intersection, it should change lane to the right. I will see if it moves into the parking space of the given destination. If I see it does, I'll take charge inside, or if I see that it does not, I'll take charge ahead. Either way, its efficacy on navigation will be seen. I'm not yet clear on this handling of these micro or sub destinations, and I don't think the FSD is fully geared for it. Say a particular spot within a destination or a particular GPS point. That would be a great thing for Tesla to look at. There it's changed lanes and is just about marginal. Probably a bit in violation and too close to the intersection. I know some of you will find this too nerdy, but that's the point of these reviews. To really scrutinize these systems to the best I can for usability and safety alike. So this one's done well overall, and we are shortly to conclude this review. If you like this work, do all the good things. Interacting with me here. That's the entrance to our destination, and the system is very much in charge up till now. It's decided to go inside, and that's where I will take charge. So I hope you like this content. Since we are here in the parking, I might as well hunt for a spot and allow autopark to work as well. I will also effectualize a slow manual turn. In parking lots, the speed limits are 5 miles per hour for the inner driveways and 10 miles per hour for the outer areas. It's a packed parking space, but we won't take long getting a spot and activating autopark. Thereafter, you just sit back and watch it do its bit. I have detailed on this feature in a separate video, and I will shortly link it here. Stay alert in these settings as you have all kinds of things to be aware of, from objects like shopping carts lying around to other vehicles trying short maneuvers. I believe most undesired incidents occur in such places. I have quite a few things planned, including a road trip and some very exciting and awaited electric vehicle reviews, so stay tuned here. If you'd like to check how the FSD functions on freeways and the features of autopark and summon, check the video linked here or in the description. See you in the next one.